Welcome everyone to yet another episode of ChatGDG with a fantastic guest, Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today, Stefano?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. So, Amanda is not just a regular guest; she's a really good friend, and I think we know each other since 2018 or something like that. I think when you joined
Maybe
Gamesys.
19, end of 8, because I joined in December. And when I joined,
Okay, that's it.
the office was
Fair,
empty.
fair enough.
I got to know everyone
2019.
in January.
Let's say 2019. So, but yeah, we will deep dive into all these interesting details. So, why don't you, Amanda, introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Cavallaro. I actually have more surnames because I'm from Brazil, and that's very common that we have many, but I go for just one. I've been doing community for a long time. Guess we can talk more in depth about that. But nowadays, I've been doing GDG Cloud London with Stefano and lots of other amazing people. I'm a Women Techmakers Ambassador, just like him. What else? I'm a Google developers expert. I used to be for three categories, but one of them doesn't exist anymore, the Google Assistant.
Ah,
uh,
yeah.
and then there is still AI ML for Dialogflow and Firebase. So these two, I'm still a Google developers expert. Hopefully they won't be shut down. Also Google Cloud Innovator. So these are all my Google communities, all the things that I've been doing the past years. And also I make money. I'm a developer.
Guess what? You got to pay the bills at the end of the day.
Gotta pay the bills. I'm a developer advocate at Vonage, and I said I'm from Brazil, but I live here in the UK, and this is where I met Stefano.
Okay, like quite a bunch of titles, quite a bunch of like very interesting CV. So let's start from the beginning. So we met each other was 2019. Yes, we already said that. Because you joined a company that I was working for at the time, Gamesys.
Yes.
It's a gambling company at the time in Piccadilly Circus. A lot of fun. Yeah, we got to know. We just met there. We were the same company, different teams at the times.
In the
But
beginning.
then, after not that long, you
Uh,
joined my team.
yes,
And
and that became fun because I used to sit just next to Stefano, and it was quite interesting to sit near him because I had a lot of crap on my table. I had like my
oh
sales
yeah, oh my God! Now I remember.
machine, and his table
Yeah.
was all tied. He had his headphone, so it was like me and Stefano.
Yes, and now I like memories, right? So I remember, yes, your desk was busy. Let's put it that
Yes.
way. Was busy, and then it was so much fun because then, as we said, you joined the team that I was at, and we share. We've been working in the same team for how long was that? Like a couple of years or something, one and a half.
Quite some time. Quite some time.
Interesting. Yes.
Then
So,
the
mhm.
pandemic started. We still worked together, but in a different way. And I missed our morning coffee.
The morning coffee, yeah. We used to go downstairs. It was a big kitchen, free
Yes.
coffee. Yes, the best way to start the day. So at the time, you were like me. You were doing the job of a software engineer, front end, because we're
Yes.
doing more of front endy kind of things. And
Yes.
then I think you and I we took slightly different paths. I joined the dark side of management, and as you know, I work as engineering manager. But you did something slightly different, right?
Yeah, I went on and became a developer advocate.
Developer advocate. So you joined the world of the developer relations. DevRel is
Yeah.
called, isn't it? This is
Yeah,
quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think before I even talk about developer relations, if we go back to game season, an explanation on why my desk was so busy, we were hosting events four
Yeah.
times a week at Gamesis.
That was insane.
And Stefano was, every day going, helping. He then became a speaker, and now he's an organizer speaker. So like we started to really build the community back then. And like we had this huge part on us. Like we were doing all these things for free for the community because we liked it, And then it was just so natural to me, software development. I needed the aspect of code, but I also need the aspect of people, of community, of getting feedback and feeding it back to my team. So when I read the description, the job description for back then, it wasn't even developer advocate. It was like developer educator. I never even heard of that. When I read the description, it was like they were describing me. I was like, this is a lie. This is like you won 999. And when, all this, because it was many steps, like 4 steps of interviews, I couldn't believe for a second that job actually existed. I was super happy.
4 steps. Okay, was
yes, many interview steps, but totally worth it. I just love working as a developer advocate. It really just matches everything that I'm saying. The aspect of coding, of speaking at conferences, of writing blog posts, doing videos. There's creating content, sharing things with the developer community. That's what I love to do.
And for how I know you, yeah, this is exactly the job for you. Spot on. Just said dress.
Yes.
The dress, yes. Perfectly. It's been tailored made for you.
Yeah, because I remember when we were at Gamesys, and then everyone was like, so what did you do this weekend? And everyone was like, saying normal things. I was like, oh, I went to a hackathon. I did this and that. And then I was like, why?
Okay. I went to watch like a movie, but okay. Yes, you were super, super active. And then, as you correctly said, especially back then, because the community world pre-COVID and post-COVID is like 2 worlds apart, right? So you and Sav, your husband, you've been doing an amazing job because so when did you start? When did you join GDG Cloud London? It was a long time ago.
I'll put just some backstory to that. Yeah. I come from Brazil, and I was studying at university there in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais. And I was crazy about community, but like I didn't really know why. I was like, there were some things that I was doing in the company that I worked back then, Fiat. And then they had even like weekly things to serve coffee to people. And I was organizing that. I was always like, trying to do something. And then I heard that the big companies, CIT and Google in Belo Horizonte, they would host these meetups. Also, there was a company called Avenue Code. And then, they were doing things, Java, things I didn't care about. Like, it was not the tech per se, but I would go once a month, just go and, be there. Then they had this event called Google I.O. Everyone went to the Google office, watched the announcements, everyone, clapping from an office. It's like, this is cool. Uh-huh. So that was just few months before I came to the UK. And then I got to know that website called meetup.com. Back then, that was the thing. And then I saw like 6 meetups a day. It's like, wow, I get to choose. I don't know what to do. Then I saw this GDG Cloud London. They were hosting like their second meetup of their life. Hackathon. Come for a weekend to learn things.
Which year was that? Which year? It's like
2016.
Wow.
2016. So I get there, and it was like one organizer and his partner. They were like not sure what to do because they didn't expect many people. They thought it would be like 10 people. Then there's people queuing around the corner, Bon Hill Street, the Google campus back then, called Google Campus, then Google for Startup, and then
in Old Street, right? It was
near Old Street Station. Yep. So I get there, and I don't know much about anything. I just went there for the hackathon, for the event, the people. And then I go to the organizer, like, hey, can I help somehow? And then they're desperate. Yes, please help out. So I'm like, who are you ordering pizza with? Let me call because they're late. Then I went on the queue giving stickers and people come in. Security wasn't there. I started to call security. I didn't even know how to make phone calls in the UK. Like everything was new, but I was trying to help. And then I remember that they gave me like a, how do you say in English? Like a beanie, some stickers. And to me, wow, I got some Google crap. Like, this is amazing. And then one day that I went there to help with the hackathon, I didn't actually do anything like for the hackathon. I was just helping organize. And then at the end, I sent them an email saying, hey, I had just taken part in a hackathon in Brazil. These are some things that I learned. Maybe this could help you out by. They're like, hi, would you like to be an organizer? What? That was like, imagine me from Brazil, like getting here and just like, you would like to be an organizer of a community. That to me was, was like the best thing ever. So answering your question, 2016.
2016 was a long time ago. Was a long time ago. And you've been doing that. So since you joined officially as an organizer, GDG Cloud London, you never stopped pretty much
No,
because
but I
during
was
those years, you've been doing an insane amount of events. People have no idea.
it's been like you saying, because in the very beginning I was scared because I didn't want to do much. I was scared of speaking to people, even though I could speak English. I was speaking English for many times of my life. I didn't know how to understand British English,
Yeah,
or even worse, like people who, because here in London you have people from all types of the world. They come from like all different backgrounds, so I couldn't understand what people were saying. My ears were not ready for that.
ready. Yes.
So they're like, okay, you want to help out, you go and do registration, take the names. And then people are like, ruh, ruh, ruh. My God, I can't understand what that name is like. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so useless. I can't even take names at an event. But then I started to come up with ideas. I'm going to print the name list. And then people would say, ruh, ruh, ruh. Oh, can you just show me which that name is? And then with time, my ears started to get better. I started to understand better. And then one day the organizer was like, now you're going to go on stage and you're going to introduce the speakers. I became white. It's like, no, I'm never going to do it. He's like, yeah, I'm going. If you don't do it, the event is not going to happen. I went on stage.
Big
And then
pressure.
I did the worst, I just had the meetup, the description of people read in front of everyone. Like I didn't know what I was doing. But that, as you said, that became something I knew the things that I had to improve. And I felt safe because that was my community. I saw most of the people every week there. And we started with small events. And then we got to a point that we were doing also 4 events a week, 200 people coming, all the stage filled out. Me and my husband, if you don't know Sav, like he's someone who is very outgoing. He would just go with the one microphone, me another microphone. I started to, because I'm outgoing as a personality. I just didn't have that public speaking type of experience. But once I start to have that, having that thing, I like people, I like to being there, I'm talking about things that interest me, that completely changed my life. Another thing that was hard for me was, okay, so I got the hang of it. I know how to introduce people. I know, how to engage things. But then people would come and ask me questions about the tech that the speakers were talking about, kind of expecting me to know
Yeah.
the tech. Back then, can you explain what TensorFlow is, what Kubernetes is? But I didn't know. And then I felt like this big load on me, like I have to know everything. And then I started to study and try to be able to answer the questions because I didn't know what was coming my way. And then at some point, I just realized people don't want me to answer the question. They want the question answered. So every time people started talking to me, I lost the fear of they're going to ask something I don't know. Like listen to the question. How can I help? Who can I talk to? Talk to that person. Talk to the speaker. I'm going to. So it was more about matching people to what they
Yeah.
need. So once you get kind of like the algorithm, what to do, how to talk to people. I don't have to know everything. I don't have to know how to pronounce your name. I don't have to know exactly what this tag means. I need to make you feel like it was worth your time leaving your house to come here.
Yeah.
Even if the tag wasn't what you liked, it has to feel like you networked, you did something, you ate good pizza or bad pizza, but you ate something. So I don't know. You've been doing a lot of community these days. I don't know if it's still the same thing, if you went through any of these things that I'm saying.
Absolutely, especially what you were saying, like getting that confidence. This is super important, right? Because then when you just realize that it's not that scary, because you have no idea how scary it was for me, for everyone. I don't know anyone who, you know, joined something from the get-go. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna speak in front of 200 people. Yeah, that's not a big deal. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's kind of big deal if you're not used to that, right? So yes, absolutely, all the things that you said can apply to me as well.
Of the options.
All the options, tick all the boxes. But definitely, as soon as you start doing those things and getting that confidence and just realizing that, well, hold on, it's not that bad, and come out with, different, strategies in order
Yes.
to overcome problems, getting out of the comfort zone, right? Because otherwise, if you would have not done that, you would just be,
In the same
yes,
place.
in the same place, maybe work for the same company. Yeah, okay, that was fine, nothing wrong with that, but that really helped you to grow as a
Yes.
person, as a professional, just your network got super big. At some
Yes.
point I saw you, because once again we're not just in the same company, in the same team, but we were close next to each other. So our desks were, I was here, you were there. So sometimes I could see your Twitter. So you could try to juggle doing the work and also try to reply, because at some point, it was 2019, you reached a point where you were getting a lot of inbound messages.
Yes.
A
People
lot.
wanted to speak at GDG Cloud London. We didn't have to look for speakers. We had like a form. People were applying. We had too many. Look what problem that was. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was super cool. And then you, once again, you've done an amazing job
Yeah, I
in
realized
growing this community.
what I was doing was amazing. I just realized, because we used to go to these summits, go to GDG summit, go to this country here in Europe, and then people from different countries come and ask you questions. Of course, I know I have the privilege that we are based in London. As we said, there's people that come from diverse backgrounds in here. It's not the same thing to compare other places where speakers don't usually go or travel for work. But I started to go to these events. I couldn't remember when we went to the summit in Madrid, I couldn't eat lunch. Everyone was
Ah,
pressing
yes.
me. Like, I was like, can I just please have lunch? No, no, you have to come to make a video with me. Can you just teach me how you do this and that? I didn't realize what I was doing was something that was causing an impact until the community would come.
Yeah.
Please explain to me how you're doing that. And then I could, people would come and tell their issues. I have this meetup. People don't come and talk. I don't know how to order the food. All the pizza is being thrown away. 50 people said they come, but then only 2 come. So knowing, understanding dropout rates, how
Yeah.
to get the speaker, how to get a backup speaker. These were things that I was just learning and became second nature to me. But I didn't realize, because I thought, okay, I'm doing this, but it's normal. But it wasn't normal. It was actually like a lot of learning behind that.
A lot. And not only that, oftentimes you just don't think that what you do is normal for some reason, and that applies to many people. You think that it is slightly below average. So if I do that, for sure other people are going to do a much better work, which sometimes is true, but oftentimes is not, because the challenges are exactly those. It's not like one group, the dropout rate of one group is 50% and the other group is zero. Is impossible. That is not going to happen. It just does not apply. So it's quite cool how you once again overcame all of these difficulties. Try to get, I mean, smart, get clever, and try to apply what was your skills, your personal skills. Is not, had nothing to do with job or work wise, your personal skills. Put
Yes.
those skills there, and then create your own way.
Yes, that definitely helped, because when we went to the meetup, the networking time was amazing, the time to talk to people. So when I was inviting speakers to come to the event, the email wasn't like, dear person, I don't know. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, last time you came here, you showed me this. Do you want to come back? Are you coming to the UK? Like the people became friends. They became good connections. So it was just really a snap of a finger to get a speaker to come to my event.
Yeah, it was super cool. At some point, I remember when I joined, because once again, you've been doing that since 2016. I think especially 2017, 2018 were very busy years, right? When all these things really ramped up in terms of number of events, quality of events. Then I joined in 2019. Once again, thanks to you, right? Because you were the one say, yeah, why don't you come along? We are, at the time, was the JavaScript course. The JavaScript course in London Bridge. I think you've
Yeah,
organized like a 7 weeks, 8 weeks, something. It was quite lengthy. JavaScript course. So I am, if I remember correctly, a recruitment company were
yes.
hosting us. So
Yes.
yeah, we were going there after work, like every meetup, the same day of the week, for was like on a Tuesday or something,
Mhm.
for 7 or 8 weeks. And we had like, and that was in collaboration with Women Techmakers, and
Mhm.
we had a core of people that really were sticking with us. So we have got this core of easily 30, 40 people sticking with us throughout all these lessons. And I
Yes.
joined pretty much, I think, immediately, maybe first or second of these, events. And I was, this is quite important because, that was my very first, um, I don't say impact, the very first time that not the very first time that I joined as an attendee, a tech whatever conference. I've done a few times before that. But by joining with you, I could see what was going on behind the scenes. And that was that was interesting, right? Because people,
Glad that didn't scare you off.
no, exactly, was exactly the opposite. Because as you said before, clearly the Google meetup. So the expectations, as soon as you say this word, is like, okay, all the organizers are super experts. Every one of them is the best, ever at doing that. At the end of the day, yes, they are great people, but they are people. So it's like me, you, and everyone who watches these podcasts. So there are just people, so things just don't work. We need to figure out the solution at the last minute. Someone forgot to do something because just life. So it's much more down to earth than you would give credit for, because Google has to be perfect, has to be, no, it's really
Yeah,
high level, don't get me wrong, but
per group, yeah. And one thing that was really important to me, because like we were kind of like passing the baton to other people who became main organizers, but to us it was really important not to make any of the organizers feel bad in case something went wrong. The pizza didn't arrive,
yeah,
you had to say something, you had to miss for some reason. It was never like, how come you did this, you did that, you forgot. I truly hope that we never felt anyone in the team feel like that. Okay, you
no,
couldn't do it. Can anyone come? Can anyone do this? Like, we are, at the end
yeah,
of the day, we are friends. We're supporting each other. We're not doing any of this for money or for anything for our own benefit. Of course, there are benefits to us, as we're saying, the visibility and other things. But at the end of the day, if we don't treat our community members, our community organizers well, you're just wasting everyone's time. You have to feel good going there doing that. So that's something that was at the very core for us. If it's not good for you, don't come. So we're there to help each other.
it's a bunch of friends at the end of the day, right? So we were used to do this. Other bunch of friends, they maybe organize the football game, the weekly football game. Is not that different. Okay, there are clearly slightly different in terms of logistics
Yeah,
and
it's a
whatnot,
community.
but it's a community. So that was my, my way in. So I got to, okay, so this is fun. So this is not as, incredible high level. I can't reach that because I'm not good enough. That was my assumption. So I was glad that this assumption
And
was
once you reach that
completely.
level, for you to grow and start doing things, you just, you overcome that barrier. That's it.
And that was it. So we've been, I think shortly after that I joined the group, maybe 2 weeks later or something like that, and I started to help, helping with, just as you said, pizza. We need to go and get pizza. Okay, let's get the pizza, let's move this, let's help people doing that. So that was my way in. And then I started slowly to, I think, speak. What was
The
the first thing
far-based
that
course,
yes,
far-based impact.
I've
You
I've
went to,
organized, yes, I've arranged the, it was like a Firebase and web course that we have done, I think, few months after that.
yes.
And then they were pretty well. It was really scary the first time that I had to run the course. It's not just organizing it, or organize it, run it, doing the slides and whatnot. It was like myself and another colleague of ours, Duncan. Shout out to Duncan. Yeah, and that was fun. That was like a little bit shorter. It was like 3 or 4, I think, 4 sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we, that was once again in collaboration with Women Tech Makers,
Women
and we were
Techmakers. Yes.
able
And we were doing
to
it at the office we used to work. So
games.
our other colleague, Davi, he would come and help out. Everyone felt very welcome.
Yeah, those were the good times, because it was also super easy. We reached a point where it was very easy to organize these things, because we've been doing that for a while. In organizing that, we were used to the space. Everyone in the company were trusting us at that point. Like, yeah, yeah, sure, okay, you do your thing. So it was very easy. We did not need to go through, sometimes you need to go through a certain level of approvals to organize things. You need the approvals from different people and whatnot. So at that point, it was like almost organizing things at our home. Like, yeah, come by, it's fine. 60 people, not big deal.
Not a
Yeah,
big.
that was fun, and we were able to, in these 3 or 4 sessions, to deliver good content.
Yes.
And we paired the theory. We need to, try to explain what the web framework that we were using, how it was like connecting with Firebase, but also was the hands-on part, which was really important. So at the end of these like 4 sessions, we were able to create with all our attendees a to-do list, which was connected to Firebase, the Firestore, real-time database. It was interesting. So we were really able to deliver value.
Absolutely. People had homework. They would come,
Yeah,
the week after, and then they would have time from Stefano, from Duncan, from myself to, go
yeah,
through the questions. So they really felt like it's not just a meetup that I go for the pizza. I have
yeah,
connection. I learn the tech. I meet people, and many of the people who came to this event, they had come to the JS course we were just talking about, and people were asking for more. Let's do more. Let's do it on
yeah.
the weekends. Like people, I remember having conversations like, I have a small kid, I paid a nanny to be with them at home so that I could come. This is good for my career. You could, you would listen to these stories and see the impact that you were giving on people's lives.
Funny story. No, sorry, funny stories is even more than one. So exactly from that course, this Firebase and web, I clearly remember two, probably more, but I remember 2 people who attended. We're talking about 2019.
19.
Okay. 2 people who attended that course. One of them is Najila, and she is now a CEO. She founded her own company. So she's having an amazing success. She's been doing this super cool video player who can, what was that? You can cut the video in all the aspect ratio, AI, incredible. And she stepped into this, technical world thanks to that course. One. The
Wow, that's
second
a fantastic
story, do
story.
you remember that? Second story, it's about another lovely girl called Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
Yuki, that was once again, if I'm not mistaken, her first step into this
Yeah, I remember she
coding,
was shy.
front end coding. Let's see, because she had a different background, she was doing a different job, so she
Mhm.
wanted to pivot to tech. Funnily enough, fast forward 2023, actually, not 24, 23,
Yeah.
last year, I hired Yuki. So Yuki, she's currently right now working as a software engineer in one of the teams at the times that I
Yes.
that I manage.
Look at that, building connections. And also, you see, she went there. You wouldn't hire her just because you met her. Like, she took from that,
No,
she learned,
absolutely.
and like,
She
what
had
I
another
learned.
experience somewhere else, because
Mhm.
2019, 2023. So she
We
had
had some time, yeah.
3-4 years of solid experience in different company. And then by chance, we were hiring a few people last year. I posted on LinkedIn about the opening, and she directly messaged me. She did not, apply through a recruitment agency or whatnot. Because
Hmm.
she knew me. She were attending the course that I was running. It's like, hey, I saw that you are looking for people. I saw the thing. Can I apply? Yeah, sure. She sent over the CV. I reviewed the CV, and she went through, of course, all the
The
interview
first.
process. But oftentimes is the hook, no? It's like,
Hmm.
hey, I know you. Okay, nice. And this is a big, big, big. Um,
Yeah, referral. Like, many times,
yes,
companies pay for referral. That's very important.
yeah, and that was. I mean, that was it. So I'm sure that there are probably more than these two, but
Oh,
those
there's
two are
so
this those
yeah.
stories that really stuck with me. 2019, 2023, 24. Not that many years after. Yeah, okay, we were able to deliver value literally, and that's amazing. And then
Oh, nice.
COVID arrived.
Dum, dum.
Man, that was grim. Not just because it was a horrible thing, but that really changed the landscape of
Yeah, we were
the
hosting events
community.
4 times a week. That was our lives. Like we didn't know how to do anything else. All we knew is how
Yeah.
to build community. How do you build community from your home? From
Mm.
okay, virtual became a thing, but it's not the same thing. They had all these platforms that were growing every day, and but still, like some of the people from these courses and other that we have talked beforehand, you would still feel connected to these people, but all of the others, it was really hard to actually build community online.
Yes, and that's the key. It's not that difficult to catch up and touch base with someone who you already know, but
Yes.
yeah, to build and to create new connections during 2020 2021, because it was solid 2 years of quote unquote nothing in terms of in-person events, right? I
Yeah.
think we started again very slowly in 2022. We've done perhaps a couple, if I'm not
That's
mistaken. In
the
2023, we really,
big impact. Yeah, I think for us, like work wise, it wasn't that hard in terms of talking to our team because we worked with these people every day at the office. We saw each other the entire day, so we knew everyone. And then it was, let's say, easier to continue, a relationship with people. You know them, you know how they are. You know the people that you shouldn't message before 10 a.m.,
yep.
the people that you shouldn't message after 6 p.m., the people who you know are going to be there in case there is a problem. So like I just feel that building community with people you knew in person beforehand was easier than like we had a whole new world. How do you make people feel part of a community that you never see in person?
Yeah, that's it. And also, even though now we apparently almost got back to the normality, which is still not the same of a
Not the
pre-COVID, but
same.
of course, it's much better compared to the
Yeah.
2020
The fact that
2021.
people got back to doing conferences make things better. Because before
Mm.
it's like, okay, we have some meetups here and there, but no one wanted to be like in a concert, in a conference, loads of people.
Yeah, that was, I mean, scary, right? Like just
Yeah.
the crowd and everything. But now, even though once again we've been running a bunch of these events since 2 years, it's still a little bit different. I feel that there is a difference between 20 in my case 2019 and even 2023 or 2024. The drop rate is higher than usual, is higher than the pre-COVID times.
Well, again, we're talking about these people. They cared about you. So when you had the meetup before, people would message you on meetup.com saying, sorry, something came up, I cannot go.
Yeah.
People would cancel their ticket. That used to happen. Nowadays, we don't have the connection. People, they don't care. So
Yeah, it's different.
it's different. I totally see that being different. One of the ways that I eased in going back to meetups was doing the Women Techmakers Coffee and Code,
Mm.
because what we were being told was like, try not to get transportation, go out, even in your neighborhood, you don't have to wear a mask when you're in public. Like people were going to cafes, people were going to pubs. There were even some like days that you would get a discount to go to the pub, things like that. So I'm like, going to the coffee shop near me that I just have to walk less than 10 minutes to go and meeting with 2, 3, 4 people, that doesn't seem scary. So that's how I started to ease in. And then time were going by the coffee shop. I think you were at that one, the coffee shop, because they had music. We asked them not to play the music
Uh,
in the area where we were. They played the music just in the other area. We got a speaker. It was a speaker from Vonage, Matt. So he went there, he gave a talk, and we had 30 people at the coffee shop watching the talk at the TV at the coffee shop. So like it
yeah,
was becoming a thing. People started to show we want to get back to meetups. So the small thing that I got, 4 people sitting with a distance, and even the swag, they were like in bags, different for everyone.
yeah.
I'm like, no, we want meetup. 30 people, no music, the TV. So it really started to become a thing again. People craved going back to in-person events.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the remote work, working from home is super convenient, which is great. We love that, but we don't need to, forget how important it is to this human interaction.
Yes.
That's super important. People wants that. That's why I'm really personally a big fan of the hybrid model.
Hmm.
I love the convenience of working from home, but I need to get to the office
to the office.
a
My
couple
team
of times
and
per
I
week or
try to
something
go
like
like
that to have
once
that connection.
once a week, once every 2 weeks. Like we don't have to, but we like, everyone's here. Let's just go and, have a chat, have some coffee. And I think those things are important. I can't do that with everyone from my team because we're like remote.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
there are some people from Singapore, from other places.
Wow.
So I'm actually going to meet someone from my team. I'm going to speak at City JS Singapore, so I'm going to meet this person from
When?
my team. I'm going the 23rd of July. So I'm
So very soon. Nice. I didn't
very soon.
know.
I'm super excited. So I also try to pair these things when there are meetups. I try, I have this colleague who works there. Maybe we can meet, we can do things. We are doing a Women Techmakers coffee code with GDG Cloud Singapore.
That's super
No
I
kidding.
didn't know. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I just went live yesterday, the event. Like, we're doing the coffee code in Singapore. Look at that.
That's super cool. As you know, I've been at the end of January for the Google the DCOC conference. So yeah, it's been a great experience. It's a very long flight, so very very long flight. But yeah, that's super cool. So
Get some tips from you what to do there.
have you ever been? No, it's first time
No,
in Singapore. You are going to have an incredible time.
they
It's
say it's
very
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 modern in there, but I don't know much.
is everything actually is very modern. It is true, but also in some of the neighborhoods, like some of them are really really typical. There is one called Little India, which I kid you not, you are in India, and then there
You
is
already
you are in India is that's it. So you've got that's the feeling that you get, not just because many of the people who lives there clearly are from India, but
yeah,
the buildings, all the
yeah,
streets, all
yeah.
that the vibe is there. And then there is the big Chinatown, which guess what? You are in China.
You're in
So,
China now.
yeah, no, it's super cool. And then you've got a city center, which is really quite modern. There are some of the buildings, which I kid you not, are the copy and paste from Canary Wharf. There is the HSBC, there is the WeWork, there,
All the
yeah. So it's like, whoa, what? I
I
saw
feel
this
like
already.
walking here.
Feel like home, but no, it's super cool. Super cool. Lots of things to see, to visit.
Yes.
Marina Bay,
Yes, my
everything.
hotel is near there. I'm actually excited for this one because many times when I go to conferences, I do this thing that it feels like I never left London because it's like airport,
Yeah,
taxi, place, hotel,
yeah.
or sometimes not even hotel because traveling to Europe sometimes is so close. And like hotel, go back. Sometimes it just feel like I took a cab and I went somewhere in a different place in the UK. But in there, I actually have one day. Like I have one day to go and see things. I'm super excited. It's like an actual trip. I'm very,
How
very
long are you gonna stay for?
so I leave here for the 23rd. I arrive there the 24th,
Yep.
and then I come back the 26th, right after the event, arriving here the 27th. So 24 to 26.
Wow,
I try
still,
to do all these things because I have like a little baby who still
yeah,
needs me for sleep. So
fair enough.
like I could have stayed a bit longer, went a bit earlier, like to deal with jet lag and everything. But
Mm,
I still want to keep a part of my life. I want to be professional. I want to do my things, but I still have a small baby, so I'm trying to find some balance.
absolutely, absolutely fair. Jet lag can be interesting. It's like GMT plus 8. So yes,
Yeah,
good
so
luck with
the thing I
that.
was doing, I went the other way. I was in
Yeah.
Oakland near San Francisco in February, and I didn't try to match jet lag. I was waking up at 3 a.m. I was working at 3 a.m. because I couldn't
Mm.
go anywhere. Where do you go? You don't go anywhere. So I was not, because what I think is when you go for a short period of time, you don't try to match. You try your best not to die.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you should not. If you were staying there for like a week or something,
Yes.
it's a little bit different. But yeah,
Yes.
okay, super interesting. So at least you've got a day
Yeah, I
for
have like
you
a day. Yes.
to
Then I have one day that
explore.
I do the CTJS talk, CTJS Singapore. Then I do the meetup, and then there's like a full day of booth that I'm working there.
Super cool. Take as many pictures as you can,
I
videos,
will.
everything. Try to do a little bit of our coverage because it's
And with
cool.
3 places that I can go. Good thing I talked to you.
Yes, absolutely. I will then after this send you a little list, a curated list, because the time is not that
Right,
much.
at
So
least.
very curated. Yes, absolutely. Well done, well done. So Singapore, super, super.
Yes.
Yeah, fun. Besides that, you've been to a bunch of these conferences, even pre-COVID, post-COVID. So you've been, going around like a globetrotter.
Yeah, lined up now. I have Singapore, and then I have Romania, but that's not announced yet. So
Okay,
hang on for that one. Wait for my Twitter announcement.
that's it. But even before that, right? You've been to San Francisco a few
Yes,
times.
yes.
You've been at quite a few places. Which was the conference that really, if you have to, I know it might be difficult, if you have to pick one, the one conference that was it. That was the one.
I can't choose one.
I know, difficult question. I know.
I think maybe Google Cloud Next, the very first one that I went to. I won't remember the year if it was 19 or 18, because it just showed me the potential of things that I could achieve. Like I appeared in the keynote in front
Yeah,
of 30,000 people. Like I talked about GDG Cloud London and the work that I was doing there, just for you to know, like, because we were saying we think it's something small, but for you to be invited to talk about it in such a big yearly event. And then at that very same event, I gave a talk at the Google office. That nowadays for us, we understand it's not something out of the world. Back then, like I gave a talk at the Google office in San
big
Francisco.
deal.
And
Mm.
I remember I have this great friend, Randy. He's doing GDG Cloud Düsseldorf. And I was like so nervous. I had this, stomach ache before the talk, and he was trying to calm me down, relax, but he was doing the opposite. I love him now, but I hated him then. Like he was the last person I did to talk before that talk. But he was just like, it's people. You're going to talk in front of people. Like don't make this such a huge deal. But it was the very first time I was trembling giving the talk. So that one just opened up so many possibilities for me, because one thing is, okay, I come here in the UK, I know these people, I see everyone, but knowing that I could go to San Francisco and give a talk, and all these people who are so smart, who are doing all these amazing things, they want to stop to listen to what I have to say, what I have to share. I think that's the one that opened up and is like, it doesn't matter what you're saying, even if for you it's something that's what I do every week. Someone else is not doing that, or even if they're doing, they can learn something from you, or they can share tips with you. So just by sharing the things you're doing, even if you think if they're bad, maybe someone can give you feedback on how to improve. If they're good, people get inspired. So no one loses anything. That was the one.
And Google Next in San Francisco is a little bit big,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is big.
How big was that? How many attendees?
I won't remember like each year which there was. I remember there was a year with 30,000 people, then like 20,000. It was always growing. They were being held at the Moscone Center. So I remember the first ones, you had just like a part of the Moscone Center, and then you had north, south.
Mm.
And one thing that I loved is that like they had a food court in front of it. The very first year, like you could go to a few places in there. There was a year that they like you could go and eat as many times as you wanted in the food court. Like it was part of the like outside of the street, Moscone Center. And I remember just having so much ice cream and food and sushi.
Queuing up multiple times.
Yes. I don't remember if we could, like, once you went in and out. I don't remember if there was I don't actually remember. I remember that once I went in, I ate a lot. And just that thing, because when you go to these conferences in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, they are a lot different, because it just feels to me that there is a lot of money invested, like Salesforce, Google. I don't know much about the other events because I haven't been. But like sometimes you have a concert after. It was Gwen Stefani, the Chainsmokers. During the event, the people who are building these demos, sometimes when they are traveling, they cannot bring the entire thing. But in there, you had like, the pods, everything. Try Kubernetes, and then you can smack the thing, and cucumber sorter, and then you could just the thing that you could go there and just play with these big machines and learn tech, talking to the people who are building the stuff. I just think that opened up my mind so much. It's one of these things that if you have the opportunity, go to one of these events there.
Yeah. I'm trying to sell these things to quite a few people because I know how valuable it can be. And yeah, you said it very well. It genuinely, it opens your mind. It's like, oh
Yes.
wow. So first in first, you learn that that thing exists, which is
Yes.
a very first step. And second, oh, it not only exists, it's possible,
Yes.
it's achievable, it's not, you know,
Yes.
out of this
But I
world.
also think that it opens your mind in different ways because I come from Brazil, and one thing that most of the Brazilians in my circle, like everyone, kind of was raised into the American dream. Everyone
Mm,
is like, oh, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to go to Disney or to Miami or New York. That's like the big dream. That's what's beautiful. That's what's something. And then once I started to go to these events there, still I saw there's still poverty in there. And then you talk about healthcare. It's
yep.
not ideal. And then that dream of like one day I just love that I can live in America for reason A, B, and C. These reasons, once I start to live in Europe, I still think it's good to live there. That's my opinion nowadays. It would be good to, live there for some years, maybe before I had my Marina or something, my baby, but like go there, make a shitload of money, make a shitload of connections, make many connections with people, and though you
Mm,
grow in your career, make a lot of money, and then go to a place for you to live your life. That's how I feel right now. But if you ask me when I started going, I want to move, I want to quit my job, I
yeah,
need to
no.
go to America. And then you talk to people, so how long does it take for you to get to work? Oh, I can't afford to live in San Francisco, I live in a city
Mm,
nearby. So you start to talk to people and you see, okay, there's definitely many parts of the dream. It's great, the people who can live there, it's great, but I just don't feel the way that I used to feel before. So it opened up my mind to, I love to go to events, I love to go there, I would live there for some time, but that's not the American dream for me. For me was killed. That's how I feel.
it's the toy is slightly less shiny, that, you know.
Yes, I have the Europe dream now. I feel like I'm living the dream. I'm happy, I'm
You are
very
living it. You are in Europe.
living the dream. Yes.
Actually, we are technically not, because we, Brexit, but it's fine. Ah,
True.
yeah, true.
Yeah,
But
but like as a personal, individual who left Brazil, my
mm,
mind was always like, I'm going to England, it's cool, but it was never like, it's never the US. My mind was
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. And again, if you talk to other people, they might have complete different opinions. That's just how I feel right now.
yeah. No, I can share that feeling. If I could go back, yes, clearly, which is easy to say now. Like if I could go back 10 years with the knowledge that I have got now, clearly get there during the golden age of tech, like the
Yes.
year tens, 2010, 2019, before COVID. Perfect, amazing. Yes, just go and get a bunch of money, equity, because the secret
Yes.
is the equity, it's not just the base salary, which is clearly much higher, but that doesn't do much. You know what I mean? Yeah, you live a slightly better life. Sure, fair enough. But the real deal is getting that sweet equity. And yes,
Yes.
and
I
then
think
you can
many
afford
of
to live.
the series and TV shows that are documentaries that you watched, like I can't imagine what was like living there in the end of the year, the 90s, in the beginning of the 2000s, the boom of the tech. You're there, you're living that. I think that must have been amazing.
Yeah, that must have been amazing. But another thing that I was thinking about, that I truly believe that in our little bubble, or in our little world, when me and you, when we were working for Gamesys, those years, I've been working for that company for way longer than you, but clearly there was in clearly not even close in terms of scale, but we had really cool parties, if you remember
Yes.
that. So the vibe was similar, clearly, once again, not
Mhm.
even close to the scale of what
Yeah.
you said, but we had a taste,
Yes.
which
Yeah, the
which
Friday
nowadays,
drinks and the yearly
Friday
call.
drinks, summer party, amazing, they were renting
Yeah, they
out.
still do Friday drinks these days here.
uh
Is it
I
still
don't
a thing?
know, depends
I
of
don't
the,
know.
I don't know, that depends of the company. Many company, as people know in London and in UK in general, they go to the pub after work. So okay, that's
Mhm,
the pub culture, sure. But
mhm.
that was a little bit different. The Friday drinks were hosted at in the company
The company.
inside. So the company was buying beers.
Yes.
So all the drinks were bought for. So you were just there. We were from lab. We were second floor, third floor, so something like that. We were going down to the ground floor, floor one, in which we had a very big kitchen breakout area. All the people were gathering there, chit chatting, cross
Yeah,
teams, getting to know people, having a
yeah,
drink. That was fun. Yes, that was fun. So we had a little taste. So I did, it's not too bad if you think about
true.
that. It could have been better, but it could have been way worse, for sure. So
Absolutely.
the end of the day, yes, it's not.
Yeah, I
It's not
felt
too
that
bad.
I was surprised because when I moved here, I didn't know what to expect because I had like, okay, America's great, the rest maybe not so much. That was like a very ignorant way of thinking. And then all the things that I was living here and experiencing, I was like, okay, it is cool in here. I like this, I like that. So everything was like a little kid learning something new.
Exactly. Learning your way, like okay.
Yes. And one thing that I was just thinking this the other day that's so different because like my father used to work with technology and stuff. So we would still like see technology when I was little. But every
Mm,
time like something would get in my house, I would be so excited. Like you would wait months to see something, your computer, like parts of your computer, the old microphones that we had. And nowadays, like when I get new tech in here, I don't get that feeling anymore. Things are not
well,
it's just different. It's way more reachable and affordable nowadays to get things. And sometimes I miss that little child feeling.
yeah, to wait weeks in order to get
Yeah,
something. So there were the expectations, the hype,
yes,
and then oh wow, this is cool. Now we get so many of these things almost on a daily
yes,
basis or a weekly basis. So yes, a little bit different. I think like
yeah.
social media and all the words. Yeah, with a little
Yeah,
bit.
all the events you go, there is a little swag, a little sticker, a little notebook. Things are, it's more achievable.
Is definitely more achievable, which is good from clearly under one point of view, but of course that steals away a little bit the that
Yes, the
feeling,
magic.
that feeling. So the last question that I wanted to ask you is like because we've been covering everything about community,
Everything.
which is amazing because we that's I think
Yeah,
we
I'm so sorry. Like I don't even think I know so much of Stefano's English because we only talk in Italian.
yeah, true, right? Because yes, you're from Brazil, but your husband is Italian, so you talk a really
Yes,
good Italian, and when clearly
I'm on
the
this.
yeah, I'm on this. And the vast majority of people who run GDG Cloud London, for some reason, are Italian. So when we gather,
Yeah,
the official
the
language
official language is
is
Italian.
Italian. So yeah,
So what's the last question?
that's true. Yeah, last question was I wanted really to go back real quick to the DevRel
Mhm.
job that you're doing because it's pretty good. So do you think because what I saw right after not COVID actually right after all these rounds of layoff, I mean you know the situation out there is a little bit grim, like many companies laid off so many people and whatnot.
Yes.
The role specifically of a DevRel, right, is a role that how do you see that role in the current industry? It's like
In
still
layoff or if it's still in
in
force.
terms of I don't know because I saw many DevRel's role popping up in 2021, 22, where we had a very hot market. But
Yes.
then I saw quite a few times that unfortunately a few roles were the first ones to just get cut, right? Because if a company needs to lay off people, there are some of these roles like recruitment. Clearly, unfortunately, they were the first one to go. But I saw quite a few of DevRel, developer advocates, and whatnot. Unfortunately, got laid off like
You know.
last year, 2 years back. So
Mhm.
hopefully now, if the market is gonna pick up a little bit again, clearly that's a reverse trend. But yeah, how do you see this one? How do you see
So
this?
what I see is when I was actually searching for this job, as I told you, I didn't know the name. I
Mm,
heard from a distance evangelist, but I didn't know there was a
yeah,
name
developer
that I
evangelist.
liked.
Yes.
And then there is a recruitment agency that I really like. Like I'd always talk to them. I got to know Gamesys through them. I really trusted them. I don't get any money out of them for saying this, but the
Mm.
thing is, they wouldn't just here are the place for you to go. They would pre-interview you. They would give you questions. They would
Oh,
care
nice.
about what you did. So I really really trusted them, and I got like not only jobs for me, but for other people, go to these because I trust them. And then when I wanted to do developer relations, I reached out to them. I said, like, hey, this is what I would like to do. And like, I don't think we have many roles with that right now and things. So like, these are the people that I trust, and they don't even know. And then funny story, after I got my job, years later, they reached out to me to ask, so you've been doing that? We have some roles now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I was looking, and then I started to know other names, as I said, developer relations, developer advocate, developer educator. But it was not something that was so outspread. Nowadays, the amount of job requests, not job requests, like the people asking job opportunities on LinkedIn. Would you like to join us as head of community? Would you like to join us as developer advocate? So I see that people are sending the job requests right now. They're interview with us. I don't know much about the layoff per se, because when I talk to people, when I see things happen, it's not only DevRel. There's many teams who are being affected worldwide. I have many friends in Brazil and other places who are not doing DevRel, and they are being laid off. And I don't know if it's like a big thing in DevRel or in the tech industry in general, but compared to many years ago, what I see is that there are more positions for you to apply right now. If people are staying, if they're being laid off, I don't know much about the market right now to let you know.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And also you touch upon the community, because this is a very interesting. I found this role very fascinating, because it's, once again, is not going vertical on something like software engineer, staff engineer, very vertical on that thing. Okay, great. This, is a collection of many skills. You've got to know your technical stuff, but also you have to be a people person, and also you need to be organized, and also you need to be creative, because you need to create content. But no, you need to be, so that's a lot going on.
Yeah, like developer advocacy, developer relations. You can do technical writing. You can be responsible for the documentation. You might not even want to go and give a talk. You could, maybe the company has a booth. Maybe you could go and work at the booth and then just work with content. Sometimes maybe you want to do some videos. Maybe you don't want. Maybe what you want is to be in front of people. You want to travel. You want to do things. And these things also change throughout your life. When I was pregnant, kind of post-COVID, everything, I was like, look, I don't feel very comfortable traveling right now. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. It's okay. Let's maybe during these months, let's do more written content, more video content. And then when the baby was born, I was like, you know what? I can't do videos right now because she wakes up all the time. She's always crying. Like, I just can't do videos right now. And they're like, okay, let's change your goals. Let's try to, so these are, of course, not all the companies and not all the teams are like that. But at least in my experience, if I was still reaching my goals, if I was still doing the things, for the greater of the team, of the company, developer relations, depending on where you are, because, developer relations or anything that you're doing in a place that is not good is not good. But if you're in a place that your manager, that the people around and that the company has a good culture, things work. And as you said, at this point, I want to do more talks. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it's also good to find the balance, because maybe you love to give talks, and then you're 4 weeks, you're never, in the office or working from home. You're not writing your content. You're not reaching your content goals. You're just not, I don't want to say just because it's very important, but maybe you're doing just one thing and not the others. And that was not pre-agreed. You might find some friction. But if you can find the right balance, these are the things that I want to do. And then you say, I'd love to do this, but this is my career progression. But if you want to do that and you're doing just talks, how do you get there? So it's also good to have someone, not to let just the shiny things, but I love giving talks. I understand that I'm getting better at public speaking. Yes, but if you don't do this, how do you become? So I think it's very important for you to have your goals, to have your dreams, but to also be grounded. That's how I see it.
Nice one. It makes complete sense. And also, I really love that there is that level of flexibility. You can be doing not a different flavor or the same job, but different jobs, pretty much.
Yes.
That's
and you have to wear different hats, because depending on what you're working, if it's open source, if it's not open source, the feedback that you get, what you can say back to your users, if you're the things that you're saying it's not open source, you have to pay attention to how much you're sharing. So And then when you get the feedback, maybe you're going to talk to someone who is not a developer. How do you explain these things, maybe not going too much in depth technically or in a way that people can understand? Or when you talk to the technical people, you can go more in depth, and just know, if you're in a meeting with all these roles, all these people there, how do you talk in a way that everyone understands? So this is the theory, a little demo, more in depth, here's the code. So you have to wear so many hats. And for the people who have a little thing like, I like people, but maybe I don't like giving talks, or I don't like this, I don't like that, you can find yourself in developer relations. That's how I see it.
Amazing. Let's hope that more people are going to join that. Okay, Amanda, we hit the hour mark. Time flew by. That was amazing. Thank you so very much to
Thank
spend
you.
this time with me. And yes, thank
Ciao.
you. I'll see you very, very soon.
Very
Cheers.